glad I came back to church. That's the subject this morning. I'm glad I came back to church. There's some Bible etiquette points to know about the book of the Psalms. Psalms really don't have chapters. They have individual psalms. Each individual psalm is not really a division. There are only 5 divisions of psalm. The proper way to pronounce a psalm is just say the 23rd psalm, or the 56th psalm, or the 73rd psalm. This psalm is written by Asaph. He was David's choir director. He was in charge of leading praise. Not just his praise, but leading the worshipers of God into praise. Not only the worshipers of God, but he was responsible for bringing those who don't know God into the presence of God and into relationship with God. He had a very weighty, deep, and strong and influential position. How he felt could infect or affect others, depending on how he felt. But he had a problem. He had a problem that many of us have. He's living for the Lord, leading in the worship. He's the choir director, I said. But he says, I was just about to fall into despair, fall into unfaithfulness, fall into a dry season, fall into a place where my faith is gone. He said, as for me, my feet almost slip. Where I've been walking is slippery. I have no balance. And the reason I'm about to fall is because as I look around, as I survey the landscape, as I survey what I see every day, I see folk that ain't living right doing better. Folk that ain't living right wealthy. Folk that ain't living right have more money in a week than I make in a year. Folk that not only are not living right, but don't even care what they say about God. They not only are sinning, but they don't even reverence God's name. And you see people, I'm not saying about their own lifestyle, I can't judge anybody, but you see people on television that have all kinds of cars and homes and money. They can spend money on a boat or a yacht, $1 million yacht, and we just love to see $1 million. House, car, and everything else, but they got $1 million in their yacht. They wear diamonds and gold and have all kind of stock and own company. Sometimes it's like that frustrations of life, hurt and pain. You want to come in and give God praise, but inside you are saying, God, where are you? I've been praying, but I ain't got an answer. I've been talking to you. I've been tithing, and the windows of heaven seem to be shut. And when they do open, they fall on the one that ain't living right. Where are you, God? And Lord, the devil is telling me why. I might as well throw in the towel. And then he tried to remind me that when I wasn't saved, I had so much money, so many friends, life so full of laughter. He said, you know what? I'm the choir director. I ain't talking about somebody that's on milk. What do you do when you are responsible for leading other people to praise God and you don't feel like praising him yourself? What do you do when your family is looking for you to be that inspirational leader in the house and you really feel like giving up? And folk coming to you with their problems and you really want to tell them, leave me alone. I can't handle my own right now. Want you to pray for them when you don't feel like praying for yourself. What are they doing? You're about to give up. And this man said, I was about to walk away. And spiritually, I did walk away. But I ain't got time to cover it all, but then I like what he said. He said, you know one thing about it, in all of my frustration. Look at verse 15. He said, I felt that way, but I wouldn't tell nobody. In other words, I complained, but I didn't complain to anybody else because I didn't want to infect anybody else with my negativity. There are some times when you need to be quiet. Be careful what you say to people when it's time to vent. Vent to God, then tell somebody else when you got it off your chest. But first of all, don't tell everybody everything you feel. I understood they were set up on slippery ground. I understood that the writer said earlier, fret not yourself because of evildoers, for they soon will be cut down. I'm glad I came back to church. First said, then I understood. And I want you to know something. When you need a blessing, as I said earlier this morning, that God will not change your position until he change your disposition. Some of y'all missed that. In other words, you ain't going to get the blessing that you want until you draw close enough to God for God to change the way you think. Because right now you're not ready for the blessing. But is there anybody here that said, Lord, I want to get close to you? Because when I get close to you, my blessing is on the way. He said, I understand that they were there for a while. And my heart was grieved. My mind was vexed. But he changed the disposition. He put it in the past tense. I was foolish. But now I understand. You got to come back to church. And when you begin to draw near to God, you will understand that God is still in control. When you draw near to God, you will understand that all things work together for good for them that love the Lord. Anybody here love my Jesus? Anybody here love the Lord? If you love him, if you're working for him, God will turn it around.